So I'm doing something I've never done before but wanted to do, and I sort of did it on my own without realizing it. I invented a tag. I'm calling it After Grad Genre Attack. These books are the 10 I want to read after I graduate, which is coming up really soon in like 3 weeks, and I still have 3 papers to write. Ignoring that. So the genres that I have are fantasy, gothic, classic, young adult, experimental, manga, history/knowledge, English literature, or English language, feminism, and dystopia. So I'm going to go down in that order. For fantasy, this is a book I've been reading since I started grad school. I love the Dragonlance series, as you may know if you watch my bookshelf tour. I really only read the entries written by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman, though. I'm kind of a purist with that, but if you have any really good ones, like ones that you think I would like, basically if they're focused on Raceland, then let me know. So this is the first in their new trilogy, The Lost Chronicles, which, I mean, it's not very new anymore, but it was new to me. I walked in Barnes & Noble, and when I saw that there was a new trilogy about the original characters, I sort of flipped out. Bought it like right away. Started reading it, and then I started school, and now I am stuck because I don't really have time to read it. I am on page 350 of 594. So I think this will be what I want to finish first because I can knock it out and finally check it off on my Goodreads thingy. Really excited. Loving it, and I'm probably gonna, I have the other 2 books of the trilogy, and I'm sure I'll read those over the rest of the summer. Moving on to the Gothic. I talked about this in my book haul. It's Charlotte Bronte's The Green Dwarf, of which I had never heard before I found it in a bookstore. Very excited about this. I cannot wait. I love Bronte's. We don't really need to talk about it anymore. So I will definitely do a review, and I want to go into this as blind as possible, not knowing anything. Next is classic. I bought this when it came out, and I haven't even really opened it yet. It's Tolkien's translation and commentary on Beowulf. I read this Seamus Heaney in my undergrad, and that was like the first medieval text that I ever read, and I was really confused. I had no idea what was going on, and so I'd like to reread that and read this as well. I'm really looking forward to Tolkien's take on it, though. Isn't it so beautiful? Let's look at the text. Ooh, commentary! I'm a grad student. Yes, very excited. Young adult. I've heard so many good things about this, and it's Patrick Ness's first book in the Chaos Walking series, called The Knife of Never Letting Go. The title reminds me of The Subtle Knife in the, His Dark Materials. I have no idea if it's anything like that or not, but I'm really pumped to read this. I love red and white. I'm sure that's at least part of the attraction for me. And it has a bonus short story. I'm very excited. Experimental. I may have already talked about The Tree of Codes. This is a pretty rare book. A friend of mine gave it to me for Christmas, and it's so cool. Like, I don't think I'll ever take it out of my apartment because I want to keep it in great condition. It's like the pages, most people read it by putting a piece of paper behind the page and then going. I don't even know how I'm gonna read it, but I'm really excited about it. What? Manga. So I'm trying to, I've never really fallen out of love with Japanese animation and manga, but I have sort of drifted away from reading it and watching it a lot over the past half decade. And there's one series that I actually have wanted to finish for a long time, and I bought the last 2 graphic novels on Amazon, Vampire Knight 18 and 19. I got the special edition, and it's still in the wrapping because I don't want to cheat and look ahead. So, if you read this series, listen to Muse as you read it. It's an amazing experience. That's all I can say. Like, Muse just, they were meant to be listened to with this. I have a very bad lack of just general history knowledge. I either didn't pay very much attention when I was going to school, or they just did a very bad job of teaching anything except the Mayans and, like, the Revolution history, so about the rest of the world, except for Victorian England, I know basically nothing. So, I'm hoping that Bill Bryson's A Short History of Nearly Everything will help with that. I have a friend who did his undergrad in history, and he says this is a really good book. So, I'm looking forward to learning more about the world in general with this. English language. I saw this in a bookstore in Ann Arbor when I went there with my friends, and it's so cool. I'm such a nerd! It's a book about the history of punctuation, or at least punctuation forms and how punctuation has changed over the times. I barely looked at anything in it except the fact that, did you know that the pound sign, now called the hashtag symbol, used to be called the octothorpe? How cool is that? That was enough for me to buy this book. So, really pumped about this. Can't wait. Feminism. I want to start with one of the old classic texts, and I am ashamed to say I've never read any Virginia Woolf. So this is A Room of One's Own. I got it at the bookstore somewhere, used bookstore. I like the fact that it's thin and tall, and the type is, it looks, old school. Oh, apparently this is quite a loved copy. No excuse to be an ass! This is my kind of book writing marginalia. Whoever used to own this copy of this book, if you ever see this video, thank you. And finally, Dystopian. I have read one book by Margaret Atwood. One book? Yes. Oryx and Crake. Loved it. So now I have I kind of hit the jackpot. I went to Savers and someone had given away apparently their entire Atwood collection, which is now sitting on my shelf. I bought like 5 Atwood books that day. This one is from my little brother, however. He gave me The Handmaid's Tale, and I'm really excited because it's, one of her most famous books. I just love her writing style, and I can't wait. As with the rest of these books. Can't wait. So, thank you very much for watching. I would love to see if you have any plans to read things over the summer. And hi to my new subscribers. Thank you. And thank you for watching. Happy summer coming soon. Books to Huda!